Whole time talking. Hey, welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and you guys are my co hosts for this evening. As we do all the time on Tuesdays, we will be talking mostly politics and stuff like that, but other stuff too. And of course, you guys enjoy your participation as well as your anticipation for tonight's show because you guys always make it a great show. We always share our thoughts and dialogue, and it's always awesome. Hey, what's up, Sam? I am. How you doing, Patty Duke? Always great to see you. To everybody in the balcony, hello. Yeah, it's a purple kind of this day today. Um, Gee, it is so much to unpack. So sure, you can have it, definitely. Um, it is so much to unpack today. Um, we'll be jumping here, there, everywhere. First and foremost, I hope you all are well. Um, it's starting to warm up outside, but please still be safe. Um, but that's a great thing. Um, and people are getting shots. So hey, what more can you say? People are getting shots, although of course we still want to be safe and make sure we are taking the precautionary measures we do to keep ourselves safe and our loved ones. But hopefully we will be able to kind of, really visit family members again and get back into the swing of that. Hey, what's up, brother Nate? How are you? All right, so without further ado, let's really to get into some things. Of course, me being originally from Queens, New York, I definitely want to give prayers and condolences somewhat, of course, to the family of DMX. Of course, he had suffered drug overdose and a heart attack, and he's having very little brain activity going on, and usually that is a sign of basically everything pretty much shutting down, and the brain is just doing its last minute kind of thing. So prayers definitely going out to his family during this time. It's definitely hard. So prayers go out to him. And if anybody didn't catch that interview that he did, I think a couple months ago, either a month or two ago, it was really impactful. It was very insightful and pretty deep. I mean, once you got, past his mannerisms, how he talks and all that, and really like listen, it was really, really, really deep. And I think that brother had a lot of hurt that he didn't speak on, but you could hear it. Like you could hear it in him. You could see it on him. Just a very hurt individual. And it made me think about, like I say quite often, that a lot of times we grow up, but we don't grow up out of the situations that brought us to the points in where we are. So a lot of times we're still dealing with those young feelings, those young hurts, even as adults. So like I said, prayers go out to his family in this time. Let's see. What to talk about politically? We can go all over the place. Biden has said, of course, that he will have all adults who are eligible to be vaccinated. They will be getting a shot by the 19th of this month. A lot of states have already done that. So that's really it's almost like a Trump move, how they would set the bar really low and then he'd do something and they'd be like, oh my God, look what he did. He did something so great. And it's like, first of all, the bar was already low. Most of these people were doing it anyway. So it's like, whatever, sir. But anyway, he plans to have all adults who want to be vaccinated to have it done by the 19th. Like I said, many states have already been doing that, so there's no big whoop there. But I guess, any improvement from the last administration is an improvement, I guess, in some instances. So there we have with that. is so much. I'm sorry, I tried to take notes as I was working, but then people started getting on me. Let's see. Before I get into that, I'll skip that. Nope, we're going to skip that real quick. Mitch McConnell. We've already talked about Mitch McConnell tons of times. He's being a big hypocrite right now at this moment. He has used the filibuster to do tax cuts. As I've said before, he's used the filibuster to not only nominate one justice, but two justices, one of which was definitely under some scandal of his own. Brett Kavanaugh, who, was alleged to have forced himself on, at the time, a young high school student. And of course, the Republican Party steamrolled it through. So, of course, now Mitch McConnell's crying that if you don't do bipartisanship, you'll ruin and fracture the state of the country, not only the state of the Senate, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, that's people lose, and these are the consequences. So it's funny to me how the hypocrisy gets played. And West Virginia is scaring me so much. Like Joe Manchin, I really don't know. I'm starting to think he's the ops that was put in there just so if Democrats ever had power, he could utilize whatever to flip it. Because his whole thing about wanting everything to be bipartisan, it's funny how he talks all that now with the Democrats in power. But when the Republicans were steamrolling everything, he was on board with it. And I don't know why a lot of people don't really pay attention, because he didn't really vote certain things. Of course, he did vote against the Republicans and stood with the party. But there were a few votes that West Virginia was A-OK with. So my eye is definitely on him to turn over a couple tables and actually be the thorn in the side of a lot of Senate Democrats with this whole, he wants everything to be bipartisan, but didn't have no smoke from when Mitch McConnell was doing it when they were in power. Just things that make you go, What else? Did I want to talk about before that? What else? I did talk about, hey, welcome everybody. Hey, Linus, how are you? I did talk about before, I know it seems to be popping back up, but Clarence Thomas's wife, she may be in a little hot water. So it came out some months before that her organization that she runs, some kind of think tank for other Republicans who, support Donald Trump, actually helped fund a lot of the money that got a lot of buses to the Capitol to stop the steal, quote unquote, the AKA Capitol Hill riots with, other people of other persuasions, and how they were just nicely able to ransack the entire Capitol, even kill a police officer, wound others, and nothing much is happening there. Sadly, we did lose another Capitol police officer who was killed by someone. I don't know if they were trying to run their car into the Capitol. I have no idea. It seems to be, from the pictures, a person of color. And of course, they had to throw out there that he was an avid reader or watcher and of Minister Louis Farrakhan, which, I mean, I really didn't see the correlation in that. I've never heard the minister ever talk about going to the Capitol and trying to blow it up. I could be wrong, but I ain't never heard that. But of course, this whole spinning thing is definitely what they do. Right. That's what it sounds like to me too, Nate. Definitely sounds like death by cop suicide. He did have a note that he couldn't quite take it. Allegedly left on his Facebook, but still doesn't account for the loss of life of another police officer, Capitol police officer, who has now lost his life. But the funny thing to me, and yet again, the Republicans, who are supposed to be so Blue Lives Matter, being so nonchalant and not even caring that the people that are sworn to protect them, the officers sworn to protect them, don't even get their respect. That part is crazy. And the people that support you don't see that as a problem. Also crazy. So, all right, getting to a bit of meat and potatoes. Again, we are at the umpteenth day of the murder trial of the former officer of the Minneapolis Police Department, of Derek Chapin. He is the man who killed George Floyd, of course, murdered George Floyd in front of bystanders, children, everybody. Anybody who was watching seen it. You either seen it live video afterwards, or you were actually there. And of course, with these testimonies, at first it was the testimony of the bystanders and people who were there, people who were, yelling and trying to get the police officer to stop, and so on and so forth. And, you heard the cross-examinations and all that stuff. And then you hear, we've heard recently from the police chief who, basically said that he did not believe that the officer followed the proper protocols. We also heard from other police officers who basically said that no, they were not trained to do that. That is not the way that we, apprehend a suspect for whatever reason. Right. All right. So, of course, we move to that. And today, once again, we start talking about the defense, of course, having to defend him. But my whole thing is, why can't we just, I mean, you can't find a better defense than, the crowd made this police officer kill a man because they were there asking him to get off of a man who was already handcuffed, already on the ground and pinned by other officers who was behind the vehicle. It's the more I watch, even though I'm drawn to watch it, the more ridiculous it sounds, the more the lack of humanity I just see and hear. And the fact that this is the type of nature that is nurtured in a place where they're supposed to be protecting everyone, that only certain people, the reality is only a certain few really are protected. Everybody else is just whatever it is, it is. But nobody really has any protection. So when they're there when the quotes on the car, because I know in New York it would say to protect and serve, you're not protecting me, nor are you serving me. You're protecting others and serving others against me, because I really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like my whole existence does not matter, because the minute I step out of line for you, it all goes downhill from there. So for those who have not watched any of the testimony, very brief, we'll run through some of it. And this is just briefly, so don't hold me to it. But basically they were trying to say, the defense was trying to say at first that it was due to George Floyd's drug usage that caused his demise, right? And the medical portion of this, as far as the EMT workers and the physician who pronounced him dead at the hospital, said, no, I didn't see any signs of drugs being the cause of this. It was from lack of oxygen when somebody is, suffocating. Nothing of drugs was actually even brought up. Even the EMT said that nothing of drugs was even brought up. Drugs weren't brought up till later, which, of course, is a way for people to make sure, oh, we need to make this, as they always do, kind of paint it in a picture where it's like, oh, well, that's why he died, or that's why, because he had drugs on him, or because he was high. And I mean, even the store clerk said that he seemed like he was on something. But really, I mean, why should that even matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, why should that matter? I'm sure there are tons of professionals who are stone high on a lot of stuff and go about their daily lives and probably don't even get stopped by police, even though they probably should. So I really didn't even understand why that could matter. This morning they had one of the gentlemen who was in the car with George Floyd, who they say possibly could have given him the counterfeit 20, which kind of started this whole thing. But he refused to testify under direction from his own lawyers in order not to incriminate himself and face any kind of criminal charges himself, because he is possibly the person who, one, gave George Floyd the counterfeit 20, and also the person named by George Floyd's girlfriend as the person who gave him or gave them the pills. So he's staying the hell out of Dodge, so he doesn't get in any more trouble. He is refusing, to testify, and we'll see how that goes. What else? So I'm not going to get too much into the children testifying and all that stuff, because that was hard enough to watch. It was hard enough to hear the people's recount of what happened to him and their own thoughts. Even as much as the bystander, the kickboxer guy who was like, you're a bitch, to the police officer. Like, they're still putting that on trial as, oh, that's the reason why he was killed, because somebody was, on the curb calling him a bitch. So he felt the need to, make it make sense. So you felt the need to kill another human being in that man's face because he called you a bitch? Like, I'm really confused as how we're making this make sense. But I'm sure to many on that jury, all that makes sense because they don't get harassed like by the police in the way we do. So they always see it as well, if you're just being compliant, none of this would happen. But if I don't have no reason to comply to anything because I'm just, being myself in my own skin, you already don't like me. You don't like my neighborhood. You like nothing about me. So anytime you get a moment to rough any one of us up, you'll go for it. Since when being high become a death sentence? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. Being high should never be a death sentence. If anything, you put the person in the jail cell, let them sleep it off. All that should have garnered was a citation or some kind of ticket for the counterfeit bill, and it should have been a done deal. All the extra police force was unnecessary, but that is what they do. And it's like at this point, they almost always do it to deter, as a deterrent. Like, oh, if we put if I call a cop, all these cops come for this one little incident, and we garner all this attention. It's to be like, yeah, don't you try it, or this is gonna happen. Um, it's a matter of defense that can be proven. Something else contributed to the death. The doctors knew about the knee, but they never knew Floyd injected drugs before he did the autopsy. Well, no, it's not even saying that he injected any drugs. Actually, it was pills that he took. So even pills have nothing to do with him being dead from not being able to breathe. So I mean, it's a. I mean, I get it. We're always trying to point the finger, especially when it comes to Black people and police. It's always to point the picture of, oh, it's the drugs and it's the this. Still, that doesn't justify a man dying at the hands of the police because of drugs, because there are plenty of Caucasians who are high on drugs of every kind that have done some heinous things, and they have still lived through it. So, I mean, that's no excuse. They've been able to go to Burger King. They've been able to go all the way home to sleep, wake up, and then decide, oh, yeah, today I want to turn myself in for the murder that I committed when I killed 2 people. So that argument right there, yeah, I'm not buying it. Yeah. So, but anyway, hey, Auntie Donna, how are you? How are you? It's always great to see you. You are definitely my YouTube auntie. So with that is still developing. Your thoughts and prayers on that. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, my prayer is that we receive some justice out of this. I mean, I just was watching, I think, The Readout with Joy Reid, and she brought up the police officer I talk about all the time, the Ethiopian police officer who accidentally shot and killed a white Australian tourist. He was instantly fired. He was instantly charged. I mean, pretty much he stayed in jail until they, did the whole trial. But I mean, there was no kind of fanfare. The jury was picked 1, 2, 3. They convicted him to 10 years in jail. He is still in jail today. I mean, the judge, his lawyers are appealing his conviction because of all of these other cases of police officers shooting people by accident, quote unquote, and kind of, getting a slap on the wrist, but able to still live their lives. But it's funny that when it's a police officer who happens to be a Black police officer or a police officer of color, instantly there's justice handed down. So again, showing what we don't have, there is no equality in these things. There is, it is what it is. It's black and it's white. And that's the first part of moving. That's the first part of actually getting to a place of understanding. We have to talk about these things. We have to kind of pull the veil off of some of these things and stop like dancing around it as it doesn't exist, while it, grows legs in our faces. I think the only way we combat social injustice and injustice, period, is you confront it. You speak about it. You speak on it. You talk about it, and you work out ways to kind of move the country forward. Welcome to everybody who's popped in the chat. I think this kind of, we're just gonna, kind of hold hands and kumbaya off of, this rainbow, everything's gonna be okay, is BS. And it's, that fairy tale stuff that really is not real. The reality is these people, and whether they've been supporters of it or not, like whether they've been like at a Klan rally or or stuff to that extreme is not even the point. The fact of the matter is that you benefit. You benefit from this form of oppression. Now, whether you agree with it or not, you still benefit. The only way that you can actually do something and make the changes if you say, you know what? No, I know I've been privileged to it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use what I have and my power to not only educate people that look like me, but to use what was been afforded to me and give it to somebody else, or try to help somebody else kind of get through that. And it's like, until you do that as others, you know, like, are you really helping the cause, or are you just benefiting? You know, it's cool. I mean, and that's one thing, to like know that you're benefiting and be like, okay, I'm good with just benefiting. I know I benefit, my bad, but I don't want to be on the opposite end. At least you're being truthful. This whole thing of like, oh, it's so much inequality. We want equality for all, but yet, you know, in the background, you're not doing anything to like push that forward. It's ridiculous to me. Ridiculous. Matt Gaetz. Let's talk about this guy. Okay, this clown. Oh, excuse me. But anyway, Matt Gaetz, this clown, I mean, he's always, when I see him, I've always seen like the visual of a grown frat boy who's really never grown up. They just got older and this is what they needed to do, so they did it. His whole being just gives me frat boy. But anyway, there are allegations out there that, of course, he had some inappropriate relations with an underage high school girl. He, of course, has denied it. Excuse me. He, of course, has denied it, but I don't know how long this is going to last, because what a lot of the Republicans, especially the big Trump supporters, fail to realize is the Justice Department, everybody in, the upper branches of his cabinet and government were protecting him. And in protecting him, you had to also protect, Brother Nate, you funny. You had to also protect anybody who endorsed him, because, you know, you don't want nobody coming out of the circle talking about what's going on or the wheelings and dealings. So to keep everybody happy, everybody just shut up on people's, you know, on what people was doing, people's dirty deeds. But the funny thing was, as Bill Barr, aka Fred Flintstone, as he was leaving office, that case dropped on his desk about Matt Gaetz, and he did not squash it. He allowed the investigation to continue. Now, two things about that make it kind of like, why would he do that? So, one, the reason why I'm like, why the hell would he do that is because, well, why would he do that? What would Matt Gaetz have to do with anything unless Matt Gaetz was trying to run for president, right? See, only thing I can think of that would be like, we need to throw a monkey wrench in this boy's plans if he plans to, or if he thinks that he will ascend to be president. Just like they did, what's his face in Florida when he was going for the governor seat. It'll come to me. But just like they did to him, the dude that was, you know, in the hotel with like the two white men, and they like got pictures of him all naked and shit. Him. So just like they did him, I figured they're trying to capitalize on anybody's little secrets that they know if they're trying to ascend to high office. Yeah, Andrew Gillum. Thank you so much. I knew it was Andrew something. I was like, yeah, Andrew Gillum. Yeah, just like they did Andrew Gillum, of course they were going to come for Matt Gaetz. I am not surprised about this. What I am surprised is that he thought that his loyalty to Donald Trump would protect uh, him and all this. So apparently it is his friend or his associate, business associate, who is really in deeper doo-doo than Matt Gaetz at this moment. And what they're trying to do is pressure the friend to give up on the secrets. And of course, there is this voicemail, this creepy ass voicemail about this. She's a Democratic person out of Florida, and they were trying to like meet with her and just saying all kinds of creepy stuff. But again, he when I see him, I see immature grown man who really acts like a child, has no sense of care because he's never been told how to be responsible. It's just whatever to him. I would not be surprised is if the reason this has been turned up on Matt Gaetz is because they have discovered that Mr. Gaetz had let people into the Capitol that caused that whole insurrection. And the reason why I say that is because his friend makes fake IDs and things of that nature. So then they start asking him, well, why would you need a fake ID? You're a member of Congress. Then I start thinking like, well, if he makes IDs and he, IDs and all that kind of stuff, and he knows him, and he's actually a congressman that can give him an ID to copy, how would he not? And then that happened on January 6th. Why the hell would you not? Like, it just sounds like a perfect, like, yeah, they got you, bitch, but they trying to play nice so you could just walk away. But I think they really got something on him, and they're just trying to, as they do, they don't really like to destroy their own like that. They really don't. They'd rather destroy somebody else. If you really paid attention, they don't really go after each other like that hard. They got to really hate each other in order for them to really go after each other like that. They will try to protect their dignity as best they can to let them just walk out before they really be like, bam. But yeah, that kind of just caught my attention. And I was like, wait, what? How is nobody kind of drawing the line that maybe they was giving people fake IDs and stuff to get into the Capitol? So just something, if it comes out, we shall see. But we're still following that. Let's see what else we got going on here. I mean, that's pretty much about it. I mean, there was a shooting in the area where I live today. There was a live shooter. Prayerfully, 2 people were injured. However, they are critical. Nobody knows why the 2 people were injured. Thank God nobody else were really hurt. But I did get a couple phone calls this morning and text messages, and I was like, what? You okay? I'm like, I'm fine. It's like, there's a live shooter. I said, oh, I haven't been outside yet, so I did not know. But yeah, I say all that to say, just people, please be careful. Be very aware of your surroundings. I know that we are tired of being locked in and subject to, our 4 walls or TV or whatever. But please, when we go out, please be diligent, pay attention to your surroundings, because there are people out here that are crazy cuckoo, and nobody has time for that. So yeah, because we go to these places to just pick up something or whatever, and we don't know the nature and the other people that we're around. So just be diligent, be careful, and yeah, I mean that's all. I am definitely glad I'm okay, and thank you Sam. But yeah, I was just like, what? And then I happened to look at the news, and I saw it, and I was like, wow. Um, but they did catch the assailant. He has been killed. Um, he tried to enter into the base here, and they definitely killed him on sight. But he did wind up killing two people before he tried to run into the base. Um, so well, not kill them. Take that back. He critically injured two people. They've been flown to Baltimore. So prayers that they recover, and prayers for their family as well. Um, but other than that, I think that's about it. If anybody wants to hop on and say, hey, you can. Please be respectful, nothing crazy. Um, Other than that, that's really all I have for right now. Be sure to tune into the gentleman's panel. It will be on King Payne's platform this coming Thursday. So please be on the lookout for that. And just be on the lookout for the gentleman's panel in general. We'll be doing some things, adding some new things, and uh, just hopefully you definitely hopefully you all will enjoy it and like the changes to come. um, Definitely look forward to it. It'll be different. Yeah, but other than that, that is really all I had. Like, people still talking about the Sharon Osbourne thing. I'm over it. I can't. I just can't. I think at this point, I'm tired of explaining to white folks why they can't be racist and explaining why certain things are racist. Because I think at a certain point, it's just like, being a child and being an adult. As a child, you get a pass on certain things. But as you get older, you should know better because you've learned. And I really don't give passes or excuses to grown people that have access to so much to learn about. And the fact that you don't want to learn anything about it, so you don't give a damn, which is fine. But then when you are confronted that you don't give a damn, please don't act like, you are now the victim because you don't give a damn. Like, no, you're not the victim because you don't give a damn. You are uneducated. You don't care. And that's fine. But please, be yourself. Like, know that, hey, I don't really care about your fight. I don't care about your, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Cool. So when people come at you with, how irresponsible could you be? You have a platform that, millions watch you, and for you not to be educated on what's happening, even in the lives of your co-hosts or your panelists, that's a problem. So, I mean, there's only but so many excuses you're going to give until you're like, you know what, you obviously don't care. And I think at this point, it's almost like if we had to go our whole lives, and there's no one that I know that can tell me that you did not have to crack open a book, okay, and know everything back to front, frontwards to backwards, flip side, upside down, twisted around, of everything about Anglo-Saxon, British, European / American history in order to get where you have gotten, then why can't they do the same? Just to know, like, oh, hey, this is a real, like, this has been a real thing for you guys. So I just don't, at this point, I am done with we just need to sit them down and talk to them and tell them what? Talk to them and tell them what? What do you want to tell them? There's plenty of video right now that we can watch of this thing happening. I was just, again, somebody had sent me the post of that young man who was going home and he got scared and he starts banging on the door for his father, his mother. And then they start trying to arrest him at his front door. Excuse me. And so when the father came out, of course he came out with his gun because he thought something was going on with his son. He just heard his son screaming. And then they tried to arrest the father. And he even tried to arrest the mother. But that is a life we live every day. We may not think about it. We may not, we may go about our daily lives. But in the back of our heads, at any moment we see a police car or a situation happening, you thinking, oh God, please don't let this be, no kind of incident. And we shouldn't have to live like that. Like nobody should have to live like that. And it's just a reality that we should not have to live like that. And in 2021, no less, we should not still have to live under that oppressive feeling. So, talk is great, but policy and action is two different things. And I think it's the responsibility at this point for white folks to educate other white folks on their privilege, on their benefits. And this is far more than, you want to live in my neighborhood, you want to go to my schools, far more than that. Because I was, and Brother Nate, thank you for that interview. I was listening to this podcast before I started work, and basically talking about how the tax code itself was formed as kind of like it didn't see race, but in actuality, it does see race. It just formulates it in a different way. Like, for example, white folks get more money back in their taxes because mainly what they do is if you file and say one person works and makes more money than the other, they don't file, although they're married, they don't file together. They would file separately because you would file and then that other person would file and you'd get more back. With a family, usually in black families, of course, you had two people making what probably one single white person would have made. So then therefore, they would have to put their money together. And then in them putting their money together to then do taxes, bam. They get ate up by Uncle Sam, while the counterpart would be able to flourish, not only get tons of money back, but not only are you getting money back just from the government alone from that, but you're also getting money back from your property because where you are is a different neighborhood. So you're getting property tax money back. You're getting all this extra money back that you can then put into more savings, pass on to grandchildren and stuff like that. So it's a whole, it's quite larger than, people just, I'm tired of talking about race. It's more than just black and white, literally and figuratively. It is a system that has been set up to, benefit them. And I'm not mad necessarily about it because hell, if a lot of us had power, we would have probably set ourselves up too to be like, okay, well, we're going to make this. But at this point, it's like all this has been revealed. So now it is your duty to be like, all right, cool. Yeah, we may have taken advantage of the system. We may have done this, but it's not fair. We apologize. The only way you could really apologize is forego some of that. Make, erase all of those little loopholes and make it fair across the board for everyone, and make it so to where in which people who don't, get that much back in taxes, that they will be able to utilize a larger refund to then help them get out of poverty. Do something. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is. That is so true. I mean, state taxes too. I mean, that was just the federal, but I'm sure if the federal government was doing it, I'm sure state taxes were doing it too. I mean, if you ever notice, the city taxes in a lot of the city areas, you're paying more, and a lot of inner city people live in the cities, and they're paying tons of city tax on top of federal tax. But these people that work check to check, and they can afford to pay a large city tax as well as a federal tax. Come on. And then when they try to get their money back at the end of the year, you're giving them chump change. It makes no sense. Really makes no sense. It really does make no sense. Always do your taxes both ways and see what benefits. Yeah. I mean, it's best. It's best. I mean, it is best. So, you always got to make sure that we, the only way we can combat these things is confront it head on and use their system against them. It's almost like how we were able to flip votes in places like Georgia and a lot of places like the outskirts of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. Use the system against them to work for you, but you gotta be willing to learn it. You know what I'm saying? We cannot, throw our thumbs or our middle fingers up anyway, to a system that, minus the people actually running the system in a crappy way, if run properly, the system really does work. You just got to know how to work it. And we so quick to knock each other, instead of, the only way you kill something is you got to kill it from the inside, especially something as disease-ridden as racism or something like that. You have to work at it from the inside. And yeah, there are some people who, dress up like skin folk but are not kin folk. Yes, we know this. But, we can't let that stop us. We got to keep moving forward and pressing forward anyway. So, yeah, it's definitely something we definitely need to do. But anyway, yeah, I think that is all I had for today. Once again, thank you all for popping in and hanging out. It's been great. Thursday, make sure you guys come out for Gentlemen's Panel. And Friday, too, I got to get some headphones because, sometimes the conversations be a little much. And I don't want to, influence younger audiences, even though they shouldn't be up, but, whatever. I got to get some headphones, but definitely we will be doing getting back to the nightcap this Friday. So be sure to tune in Friday night for episode of the nightcap. We will be getting back to that. And that's fun. So I can't wait to get back there. Okay, sir. Hey, what's going on?
How's everything, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good.
All right, there we go.
What's going on with you?
Nothing, man. I'm starving to death. It's that time of the year. Got to get this shit tight. So goddamn hungry, I could scream. Notice how quiet I've been.
I had to dig out your summer body. Is that what you
yeah. God damn.
Summer body.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get all that COVID weight off.
Oh yeah, man. That's just terrible. But I don't feel too bad because everybody else I see has it too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't been blessed with that.
Mm-hmm. Looking like a swami tonight. Sim salabim.
That's right. Grant some wishes for some of these broke people, eh?
Oh yeah, man. Seriously.
Broken.
Real broken folks.
Yeah.
We talking about crazy stuff. Did your boy Jay Wilson tell you what happened Saturday?
No.
Oh, it was crazy.
What happened Saturday?
Yeah, they were having a discussion, and somebody popped on the feed and was showing their private parts.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I was like, damn, that's a funny ass looking avatar.
Wow.
And I'm look, I had to do like this.
Wait, it wasn't Rico, was it? Dear God.
No, it was a female. It was a female.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised out. I know guys do dumb shit like that, but I was real surprised. But then after looking at it, it wasn't very impressive. No, it was shaved, but it looked dry and neglected. But I was real surprised. I just couldn't believe somebody had actually did that.
It looked dusty, just a little dusty.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they could use some oil, a tune up maybe. Definitely a lube job. I just couldn't believe it. You know how you'll throw somebody's, you're just listening in the background, and they were having a conversation, and the woman was eating chips, and I'm like, oh no, man, what is this?
Yeah, people do that. I've seen that people do that to kind of mess up the person's whatever they're doing to talk about or whatever.
That or if they were monetizing. But you can edit that out, so
YouTube can flag it.
If you're going to do that, have something impressive. Have something that I haven't seen. Definitely moisturize.
Definitely moisturize, right? Throw some WD-40 on it, bitch. Something.
Because you're not gonna catch anybody with that. That was, you didn't put your best foot forward on that one.
You could have put some Crisco on that. It could have been.
Yeah, because it was, like I said, it was shaven, but it was dry and neglected. I mean, it just looked
dusty.
Yeah,
I did not see it, but
And that's strange because I usually don't watch his stuff, but he just happened to pop. He's been popping on a lot lately.
He has. He has. Usually, I get the notification, and I'll be like, "Work much, sir? Pop up. Go to bed. Good night."
Yeah. Because I know I keep strange hours, but god damn. But it was hilarious. It gave me a good laugh after I figured out what the hell it was, and the fact that people actually do that. So that was crazy.
Oh, that was crazy.
But other than that, like I said, starving to death, and that was, trying not to watch too much of what's going on with the trial case because I was surprised that I have to take it in doses.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It truly is a bit much. I don't even have words for it. It truly is a bit much. Like to listen to the argument, it's like, how could a jury sit there and really take this defense serious? Like, I have no words. That's right. Word of the
That's
day.
right. Yeah.
Of the day. Ladies, keep your thoughts
moisturize. No matter what your age.
Right.
Just
because you dusty up here don't mean you got to be dusty down there. Okay? You keep it lubricated.
Yeah. I mean, how you going to sell it if it's just looking like any old thing off the street.
Well, I guess you know what? Maybe they thought, because some people like dry fruits and stuff. That some people would like.
No, not enough. No, and that, let me tell you, and that one looked dry. It did. It looked real dry.
And truthfully, when it's that dry, it does hurt. Okay, it does hurt.
Yes, yes. Very, very.
It ain't
uncomfortable.
It ain't going.
It's like damn sandpaper, man. Like what is that the grater?
The grater.
You ever see those graters? Yes.
It's like the cheese grater. Just rub.
It's like
you can cancel Christmas. Cancel Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, look, you're not ready.
No, not ready at all.
Take it. So take your time. Get ready. Ain't no rush.
No. You need to take one of them turkey basters and squash. Just gotta get up in there. Moisturize on the cat. You cannot neglect the cat. The cat is very important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was crazy. That was real crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Any new movies?
I saw Godzilla versus Kong. That was decent. You don't like it? You don't like that kind of stuff? I love that shit.
I haven't seen it yet, although I've been told to watch it. I'm just not. I guess if I'm bored enough, I'll probably check it out.
What's the Invincible? Have you started watching that on Amazon? The series Invincible. It's animated. It's the comic book.
No.
That's actually pretty good. Did you watch The Boys?
I did.
Okay, it kind of reminds me of The Boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I checked that out.
And
I was watching
Aretha
on Sherlock Holmes. It'll come to me. It's like these group of kids or whatever, they're like working with Sherlock Holmes or whatever. Some of them have like special powers or something.
Okay. Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah.
That I'm going to try to watch that one.
Yeah, and I did watch the Aretha Franklin series on National
Hulu,
Geographic.
I think. Oh yeah. Why does National Geographic have that?
I don't know. That's the question I thought.
I'm like, when did they start doing? I guess maybe to compete too.
Well, they did have a series. The first time I saw it, I was looking at the Aretha thing, but when I saw that they did have other series, they had one on Albert Einstein was first, then it was Picasso was second, and Aretha Franklin was third. The order how they did that was kind of like, you went from Einstein to Picasso to Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. Aretha was fast though.
Yeah, hot in the ass. I mean, I was just a bit like,
No, you know what the most funniest part was when she was sitting with what is the other James Cleveland? Was that him?
I think it was him.
Okay.
Yeah, James Cleveland, the gospel. Yeah.
Yeah. And when she became pregnant the second time.
Right.
And he was sitting down there. And he was like, well, which young man was it?
Right.
And she had to look like, which one didn't she have?
Right. I don't even know. I was just like.
But she was fast. My goodness. But she following behind her father.
But that's what I was about to say. I'm not surprised that she followed behind her father because he was just, oh my God, like.
Yeah, I like the Queen too, but she was something else.
She was
oh yeah, rock steady.
She was showing what it was.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was. A lot of that stuff you had already heard before.
Yeah.
I just had to get used to the girl that was playing her. Was it Cynthia Erivo?
Yeah. A lot of people said that, but for me, if mentally I know that's the character you're going, then I'll kind of okay. As long as it's not too far out of place.
Too far off. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know who you supposed to be. You're totally blowing me. Because for me, like Jamie Foxx did not look like at all.
Ray Charles.
Right, but by the mannerisms and all that other kind of stuff, you kind of saw it, so you kind of went with it. I think in this it was kind of a bit of the same thing. A lot of us, well, I know personally, I didn't know Aretha till later on. So I didn't know, what young Aretha was like or what younger Aretha was like. So it was just like, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And it was like, okay, I guess,
Yeah. She just always seemed serious to me when she would do interviews. Like she wasn't there to play.
But I get of course, most of that is fictional. But if some of that was true, kind of, sort of, in that kind of atmosphere, I get how in interviews it was very much, nope, this is what I'm putting out. Like, don't ask me about that because we ain't talking about that. We only talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Not about my private life, and to have such a private life that was like, yeah. So it was kind of like, wow. And then it made me look at my own grandmother and grandparents and all that kind of stuff and be like,
well, yeah, they were out here. Look, you know what? When you poor, don't have nothing to do. What you want to do? Well, we'll find something.
But the point in that is like all these family secrets. Like we're dealing with this.
Yeah, always. Well, those were deathbed confessions.
But
things you just never told anybody.
But you leave. You know what I'm saying? With you holding on to that, you leave children and sometimes grandchildren kind of like, well, who's what, and is that person actually your parent, or did you come from someplace else? Like, what's going on here? Because this
no,
all
confused.
But because I've read that one of the sons that she did have was special needs, and so it was like, wow, how do you
especially during that time.
Right, right. How do you even, I don't know. Just
say Mary Wilson was dipping on her, telling all her business. I'm sure it was well known.
I'm sure they all was telling. Especially just when you call her the Queen of Soul, then you like, she ain't no queen. She been out here
spreading it and slinging.
Right.
Laying hands and everything else.
Right. I guess that's why Tina said, let me just drop this documentary real quick before I kick it. So nobody looking crazy out here.
But I think the thing with Aretha during that time that they, you're looking at the way that this child, she's actually dressed like a child in these skirts and with pigtails and kind of stuff. Right. And it's like, what the hell is, you on the road with your father and you're doing this? But even though he was fucked up half the time,
right, and doing his own thing, right, dipping it low and spreading it wide, don't care who touch it.
Mm-hmm.
In the words of Mr. Dipping it low and spreading it wide. But I just thought it was a bit much, but it's something that needs to be told. Like, granted, we don't like the image that it portrays, but it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's real.
I was going to say it humanizes her,
right? It humanizes her to a degree where it can be relatable. Like, granted, I know people are going to be up in arms, but I'm waiting for them to do Dr. King like that. I'm waiting for them to do other people to be like, okay, this is really what they were, what they were struggling with, because they still had struggles and things going on in their own lives, even though they were pushing for other things.
Yeah, well, their images get whitewashed anyway.
Right.
And back then, you didn't have the internet.
Right.
Everything is instantaneous. As soon as something happens, 15 seconds is all over the whole planet.
That's it. Yeah.
So but did you watch Tina Turner. Did you watch that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. And like I said, all that stuff we are. Yeah. Even before her movie came out. But did you see her arm where she actually had the burn mark on her shoulder, on her arm?
No, I must have missed that part.
She was doing a show, and this was after she had left Ike and everything else, and you actually saw the burn mark. I didn't know it was 3rd degree.
Did he burn her?
Yeah, he scalded her.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I think it was some hot coffee he threw on her and scalded her, and it left the mark right on her shoulder. It looked like a birthmark. You probably wouldn't have paid it any attention because it wasn't shiny or anything, or maybe they put makeup or something on it, but it just looked like she was maybe like 2 or 3 shades darker.
Yeah, she's had some issues too. Recently with her health, so. Oh
yeah, and you can tell she's on anti-rejection medications because her face is real puffy and everything now. But she did what she had to do. I'd have fucked Ike's ass up a long time ago.
I'm not a thing for violence, but I'm just like, girl, you was like,
because that was
him. I would have wailed on his ass.
Look, back when I was a kid, and they would come into town. And the way they would advertise is they would always have like these posters with the lineup of the groups and things, and that was legendary. Everybody on that man be be whipping on and everything. It's like it was just something that everybody knew what was going on.
Wow, that is so crazy.
Yes, because she should. It is still have just been Tina, because Ike wouldn't have been here.
Right.
Because I'd have OD'd his ass. He wouldn't have known, and nobody else. You just figured he was a rock and roller, and that's what he did.
Rock and roller. That's what he did. Right.
He got high, and he drank.
Right.
And he had the wrong combination that night.
Right. That particular night, where he thought he could grab me up by that fish tank when I was singing my song. I wrote it, Ike. Of course I know it. I wrote it. Yeah. Ike would have been dead. Ike would have been dead.
Yeah. That was sad, but
yeah,
they did that shit back in,
Yeah. It was just really crazy, really, really crazy. I did not know that her sister sang, and then that she snubbed her sister for the.
Oh, Aretha. Yeah. She did. She released an album or two, but she wanted her to sing background for her, and she also snatched up a couple of songs. Because when I remember when Sparkle came out, and I'm like, why is Aretha Franklin singing Sparkle? Because when it came out, it had her face plastered on it, but I thought that, it was the movie cut.
Right.
But then it was actually her singing and with a whole bunch of other songs on it. And I was like, I always thought that was strange. So I was pleasantly surprised to hear the backstory on that.
Yeah, for me, I thought that maybe she thought her acting would take off, so then therefore she wasn't worried about the Sparkle thing. And then once that didn't happen, it was like, okay, I'll take this. But to take that from me, it's kind of low.
Yeah, we're following behind, Diana Ross, because that was all doing that same back in the early 70s.
Right.
When she came out with Lady Sings the Blues. So I guess she figured that was going to be her next leap.
Right.
But, just crazy, man.
Speaking of Lady Sings the Blues, is it me? But does Diana Ross always look like she's hot? She's like, even when I see old clips, it's like she look like she high or something. Well, she drunk. She just looks.
Well, no, you know what? If you see like the real old ones when she's with the actual original Supremes, and you'll see her pop her eyes. Yeah, she would pop her eyes doing that. She said her brother told her to do it because she looks pretty. She has pretty eyes.
Oh, but
and they had a PR person and and that taught them execution and things like that. And the woman told her to stop doing that.
Yeah, you're looking crazy. And let alone is most of the people, you know, that weren't really, they watching a black and white TV. So you sitting up there, you just looking like.
Yeah, but you can imagine, and they it was just hilarious because you see, it was like, why is her eyes bugging out? What, she got thyroid? I don't need it.
Right. Because she still does it. Everything's like, hello. Hi. She do it all.
Linty, you don't know Diana Ross, Miss Ross? Yeah.
She married herself an old rich man, and he wound up, I don't think they divorced, but they just separated, and he wound up dying.
They separated. Yeah, he ended up getting killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, her last two children, the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Their father.
Yeah. Left them tons of money and left her money too. So she ain't really gotta do a damn thing if she don't want to.
Yeah. Well,
nice.
So you ain't got no love for her. All right. She's all right.
Yeah, right.
There were so many better. You can see all the resources were pumped into them.
Yeah.
You know, there were definitely other singers that were definitely singers.
Yeah.
Now her replacement back in '70, Jean Terrell, that took over the lead. She's a singer. You can actually hear the difference in the music and the voice. She's an actual singer, you know.
Not a recording artist.
Not a recording artist, yeah.
There is a difference. That's funny.
Yeah. But it was like I said, Aretha was she was something else.
Yeah.
No, but what I used to like too is we heard the rumors about how when she would she'd always have her money in her pocketbook. She get paid before her concert.
Before her concert, yeah. She made to tell that one.
But you know they were still finding money in her house, in the these underneath the sofa and underneath the cushions. They were finding thousands and thousands of dollars.
I wouldn't be surprised because I'm sure the father did it. It was just a habit he did. I remember that scene where he was putting the money from the pastor's aid thing in the sink.
Yeah. Pedophile, man. Pedophile.
Yeah.
12 years old.
Yeah.
Pedophile.
Yeah. But nobody thinks about that. You know, like
no, well, you know what, back then
Me Too, we're quick to like Me Too and cancel culture. Back then, unfortunately, that was a thing. You know, that was a norm. Yeah.
And of course, they would blame it on the girl.
Right.
And then she would go down to visit and stay with grandma.
Right. Either go up north with a sister somewhere.
Yeah, and then when she came back, they'd have a brother.
Right.
And the mother would and they would be treated as such. And then maybe later on, when she was a teenager, it'd make sneak out and say, well, you know, this is, you know, that's my son or whatever.
Right.
But they were raised as brother and sister. It's like, why is he calling you by your first name?
Right.
Like you said, all those deathbed confessions. Who's your real daddy?
Right. But that's the part that I don't get. It's like you hold all that in, and you got people sitting up here looking crazy, asking questions. And then you want to get mad that nobody wants to, you know, because you don't want to. I don't want to. What do you mean? Like, just trust me, I'm gonna be dealing with that right now, and I just be like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, what is wrong with y'all? It'd be different if we were children, but they're adults, and if the person want to ask,
if they're adults in it,
then you should just be able to tell them. And I think people are scared at this point because they think that you're gonna be like, well, you're not. Oh, so if you're not, then you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, first of all, my mother raised us better than that. Nobody's gonna do that to you, but we do need to know though. Like, it is important to know. So I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, don't show up at daddy's funeral with two families.
My God, I'm waiting for that one to kick the bucket. My biological father, when he kicks the bucket, I'm sure it's gonna be a whole bunch of people that'll be like, "I've never met you a day in my life," or that's your little brother. Little brother, this man was like 80 years old. What was he doing? Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't get a lot of um, older people. I really just don't like.
Those were the times, and that's what they did.
Yeah, but you don't
That's
got
what they did.
but you don't got to keep doing it. Like I get it
Yeah.
if in fact that was the time you grew up in, and at a certain point that's all you knew. But at some point, when do you elevate? Like if you still almost damn near 80 years old doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's a discussion that should have been had a long time ago.
Something ain't something ain't clicking.
But
and then for a lot
most of the time,
mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I done lost my train of thought.
But I was saying for a lot of these old people though, like especially church going, like I'll use my grandmother for example. Like she will take this stuff. You will not embarrass her in front of the church folks. You will not air her little secret. And it's just like, but they're people. They're people like your people. You know what I'm saying? Like get over that. Like there's no
what goes on in this house stays in this house.
No,
how many times he heard that?
But see, I've heard it a lot. But the funny thing is, it be certain stuff that stays in the house and certain.
They had selective memory. Okay,
it'd be like the selective stuff. Like I'll keep this in the house, but this I'ma tell. And it's like what? Jesus, I'm over that whole. But the church folks is gonna please. These church folks, they paying your bills. They ain't making sure you.
No, and they're the worst ones.
Right.
They're the worst ones. They have more. Open the front door and the bones just roll on out.
Right. Bones be flying out. You be like, damn. But everybody. I don't know. Somebody always shoot.
At the
Yes.
And who was that? And then you're looking at them, and it's like, oh, they do look kind of.
They do look right.
They kind of favor them. Wait a minute! Don't close that lid yet.
Right. Oh my gosh! I had this one lady when I reached out to that side of the family via Facebook, of course, and people were like, "Oh, okay," and this one lady hit me up like, "Oh, I don't know if you know, but you have a brother." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, first of all, lady, I just met these people, so I wouldn't know who he is." You know what I'm saying? So first of all, calm down. And I was like, "Well, because at first I thought he was young, the way she was talking about him, and then I was like, well, how old is
Did she come at you with that? She came at you with attitude?
Yeah, a little bit, because I think she kind of got the idea that maybe he had raised me from the way I was like, oh, it's so great to meet y'all. But I was talking about them. I wasn't talking about him. I was just talking about them. So it was like, oh, nice. I think we had, they had did a barbecue thing in Brooklyn, and my twin sister and we had went. And so I was already up there for a little bit of the summer before I came back to Maryland. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll go. And we wound up going. And it was nice, to finally see them. I mean, most of them saw us when we were like babies, and, we'd never seen them since. So we didn't know what they looked like. And they was just like, talking and telling stories and stuff. And we just looking at them with the dumb face, like, we know nothing of what you're talking about, but okay. And so when I got home, both of my messages, and this lady's like, wow, because I was posting the pictures and stuff, and the lady was like, wow, I don't know if you know, but you have a brother, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I just met these people. So, any grievance you have, I know nothing about, but I'll, more than willing to, meet with your son or what have you. No problem. So then I was just like curious, how old is he? And when she said his age, I was like, well, something ain't right, because there's no reason for you to be talking for him if he is old enough to talk for himself. He is incarcerated or just not mentally there. But we stayed cordial for a bit till I realized, okay, you just trying to get information from me, and I'm not playing this game with you, lady. I don't even know him like that, let alone, me trying to get with you. So we're just, like high and by, but yeah. I don't know. But please keep them
That's
secret. They can keep them. I'm so over family secret. To me, this is so dumb. It really is dumb.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Let the children know, and they can move forward and make the decision that they want to make that's helpful for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, let them make the decisions for themselves, whether or not, because they may not even want to be bothered.
Right. You sitting up here thinking somebody's going to disown you, and it's just like, okay, I know. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You just want to know. And you have every right to. But, secrets and like what Big Mama said, secrets they eat away at us. But they do. They really do. They really do. So
yeah, but there's so many.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. They always have so many. Every time you turn around, there's always something.
Right.
Sheesh.
Are you like, God, what's wrong with y'all?
No, that's because they're human, and that's what it is. Trying to be above every, trying to put that facade out there that you don't actually do these things. You're only human,
right? But why is that wrong though? That's the part that I'm stuck at. Like, okay, what is wrong with that? Maybe you just didn't know yourself, and then all of a sudden you discovered yourself later on. Okay, like.
You're just as fucked up as everybody else, okay?
Right. Like just because you're a parent or you're my godparent or my grandparent does not mean you did not, fall and find your way. I may still think you superhuman. I just know that you're more human than super.
Human now. Right. And I may look a little further, because you really messed up too, and you are
right. That's true. So Lord knows. But anyway, guys, it's been a great Tuesday night with you all, as always. Like I said earlier, please make sure you guys check out us at the Gentleman's Panel on official King Payne's channel on this Thursday at around 7:45, 8 o'clock ish. Also, ish. Also, Nightcap will be back. Just let me get my headphones. So 2 days, I gotta find some, and and I'll do that. And we'll be back up and running with that. What else? Stay safe. Wear your damn mask, please. Take your shot if you're eligible to get it. I say.
I think they're supposed to be opening it up for starting from age 16.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah. Opening for adults. Period. But I mean, my whole thing is, hell, why not get it over with? Because I'm sure at some point you won't be able to travel, eat, or probably do much anything unless you had some sort of shot or something.
Well, especially right now, if you were planning on going or doing anything, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, you can cancel it. So if you think that they start saying, "Oh, we're going to open it up a little bit more," and you think you're just going to hop out there and go run into Miami or something like that without, I doubt it.
Yeah, especially with these variants, different variants out here.
Right. And then with the Airbnbs, you can imagine people can make their own things. Hey, you got to be vaccinated, and we got to see like you don't know, and to avoid getting into that, they've already talked. When they start talking about it once or twice, and you see it on the news when they talk about vaccine,
gears already in motion.
Trust and believe, it's already in motion. That's just to get your kind of, you've heard it. Oh, I've heard it. Okay, now I see it. Oh, now it's happening, and you just go with the flow. So just
especially with Florida acting the fool, all those people down there. God damn!
And it's
more than COVID going around down there.
Right. And the first thing they're gonna say is, "Oh, you know what? To keep them people from coming down here and doing what they did, let's do this. Make sure you vaccinated before you come down here. If you can't come down here."
Yeah.
You think I'm playing if you want to. They find ways to make sure that, if they can eliminate certain groups from doing certain things, they'll work it out. So stop giving them the power to do so by doing this.
Kind of hard to shoot a gun with no bullets.
I mean, I don't understand it.
I mean, you can get pistol whipped, but that's a different story.
Right, they got to be close enough to whip you with the pistol.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm just saying. But what time it is? 7:45, 8:40, 8 o'clock ish. In pain, so it's a little late. Love him, but he runs a little late sometimes. So you'd be like,
this is that West Coast time.
Yeah, that extra 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, extra 15. All right, guys. All right. Well, guys, again, have a great night. Thank you, Brother Nate. Any last words?
You're welcome, sir.
All right.
Not a thing. Stay safe.
Yes, please.
Use your common sense. Wear your mask. Wear your condoms. And moisturize.
Yes, please. Keep your...
No more dry vaginas. I don't want to see no dry vaginas. Good Lord.
Hashtag in dryness.
It was just so... It was dry. And I was like...
In dryness.
Damn.
I'm going to show it ashy.
Yeah, that's the bad part. Like I said, impress me. Impress me. You know?
They dark skin or light skin? Because it'd be even worse if they was lighter skin.
No, they weren't light skin. No, they were brown skin.
Oh, okay.
And they had a purple light on. And like I said, and the way that they had I guess they had their phone angled down. And it was, what is it? With the screen flips, what is it, long view or whatever?
Yeah, long.
So I had to do like this because I was like, well, damn, what kind of emoji is that?
The Sasquatch emoji.
You know what? Sheesh. All I kept saying was, damn, that just looks so neglected.
I mean, when you can't get it, you can't get it. I don't know.
God damn, you got some baby oil or something around there. Work it out yourself. Work it out yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You say bye, Dusty. Yeah, because you could blow some dust off of that one. It was not impressive.
I'm telling you, they probably had some cobwebs and some things up in there. So, you talking about the nightcap time? We usually like 11:45 ish. No, 11:45. Hey, keep
your cat to yourself.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, because that one should not have been. It should not have been shared. It really shouldn't have.
Right. Keep it to yourself.
But I was just surprised because it was a woman. Yeah. It was.
If it's not camera ready, don't put it on camera.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Yeah, seriously. Well, maybe evidently she didn't look at her own replay first. She should have done that first.
Well,
again,
that happens when you don't have somebody looking, to direct you. That's good. Like, no, that ain't good. So anyway,
yeah, it was. I mean, just be camera ready, please.
Can share the rest of that later. All right, guys. Peace.